Good morning, dear. You know, in geography, we have completed one chapter, environment, different type of environment, components of environment. We have discussed, and we have completed another one chapter from civics that is on equality. In equality, we have seen discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, gender, birthplace, like. Now we are going to start a new chapter in history. Chapter 1, tracing changes through a thousand years. In this chapter I am giving today introductory lecture, and in this we will discuss about changes in histories. Changes through a thousand of years. You know chapter name, tracing changes through a thousand years. Changes in political shape, changes in language, changes in religion, way of bhakti, we will discuss in this chapter. So, dear, first, before starting chapter, what is history? History means what? History means what? So, you know, in class 6, you are studying about ancient period, and in class 7th, we will discuss about medieval period, and in 8th, modern period. So, period between ancient, after ancient, and before modern in class 7th will study. That period is considered medieval period. Mid part of period between ancient and between the medieval period. You are studying class 6 about caste system, about Janpadas, about Upanishad, and about the Mahavir Swami, Gautam Buddha, Great Asoka, like. In class, after ancient period and before modern period, between that period is considered the medieval period. So, in we'll discuss about medieval period. In other words, we can say Mughal period. Medieval period mostly considered as a Mughal period. So, what is the history? History, you know, it is the past. Whatever incident recorded in past and systematic study of that events. Systematic in orders. Suppose, for example, what happens in 16th century, what happens later on 17th, like systematic study. Yeah, arrangement systematic, that is known as history. And who play important role to record what are different sources they are using, we will discuss also. So let's start introductory lecture of who are cartographer, those people who make map. Like Elizabeth was a cartographer, and early time due to the lack of knowledge during the 11th century, he made the just opposite map of India, like Sri Lanka at the top, you know, present day it is at the bottom. But during the 11th century and 12th century, there was no such equipment, technology, and knowledge. In absence of that, he was made the map of like this. So cartographer, a person who make map. We'll discuss it about in detail in this chapter. New and old terminologies means the what were the different words, their meaning is changed after a period like earlier, Hindustan, India, like this. You know, terminologies will discuss in this chapter different word which has changed their meaning, And what were the different sources used by historians to study, to record, and about the history, how do they maintain their records. So different sources like coins, archaeologists also play important role in this record. And in this chapter we will discuss about the jati, a group of caste known as the jati, and meeting of the jatis considered as a jati panchayat. And new religion we will discuss in this about the region. Region is geographical and cultural area which consider region and empire we will discuss in this chapter. And old and new religion, how the meaning of bhakti has changed. All these details will be discussed in this. And last topic about the time period. Time period means how to the historians is classify history into different categories, history into different period. So dear, history James Mill, a Scotland citizen, has played important role for division of a history. He has divided history into three part. First one is the on the basis of religion. He has divided Hindu period, Muslim period, and British period, because ancient time is mostly Hindu period considered. Second part is considered the Muslim period and British period. And but there was the problem with the periodization of history, because during Hindu period there were different events also happened. During the Muslim period there were other rulers also. We can't ignore that. Like during the Mughal period, Mahana Pratap, other rulers also. So we can't consider medieval period as the Mughal period. So those people, many historians who are not satisfied later on, history is divided from Hindu, Muslim and British period to Hindu period is considered ancient period, Vedic period, and Mughal period is considered medieval period, mid part, and British period is considered because during the colonial rule, there were many changes, modernization, industrialization. So last period is considered as the modern history. So history classification today are in three categories. First one is the ancient period. You already studied in class 6. Medieval period will be studied in class 7, and modern period will be studied in class 8. Modern period, how to the colonial rule has changed our society, education system, Sati Pratha and untouchability. There were many details we will study in class 8. So dear, this is the today's introductory lecture about history and tracing changes through 1,000 years.